Hey there, and welcome to another trip report. Today, we're flying Porter Airlines' inaugural Toronto Pearson to Vancouver service with their brand new Embraer E195-E2. These aircraft entered into service with Porter's fleet just 6 days prior when the airline launched flights from Pearson Airport to Montreal and Ottawa. Today, they're launching their first new destination with the aircraft and the airline's longest flight yet in its 16-year history. Traditionally, Porter has operated out of Toronto's Island Airport with convenient access to downtown. Since jets aren't permitted at the island, Porter's expansion to jet aircraft meant having to expand their operations to Toronto's Pearson Airport for these flights. At Pearson Airport, Porter is using Terminal 3, which is also home to airlines like WestJet and Air Transat. Porter's check-in area is at door number 19 and consists of a set of self-serve check-in kiosks, automated baggage drop stations, and customer service counters for checking in and picking up boarding passes. I printed out my boarding pass at one of the self-serve kiosks and am not checking any bags on today's flight. Heading to security next, the entrance to the security screening checkpoint for the B and C gates for domestic and international flights is located directly adjacent to the Porter check-in area. Taking a quick peek at the departures board, my flight is PD 305, departing for Vancouver at 10:15 a.m. from gate B39. There was no line for security here this morning and I was through in under 5 minutes. This part of the terminal feels recently renovated with bright lighting, wood accents, and a very clean-cut finish. There's a food court area here with lots of grab-and-go or sit-down options, and there's plenty of stores around as well. Heading down the concourse towards my gate, there are more shops and restaurants along here, with quick options like Booster Juice and Starbucks, and sit-down restaurants available as well. Arriving at my gate, the festivities for the inaugural flight are already in full swing. Passengers are queued up in front of the gate for a chance to win the grand prize of 2 round-trip Porter Reserve tickets to anywhere Porter flies by picking the right key to unlock the box. Porter Reserve is their new all-inclusive top-tier economy fare, which includes an extra legroom seat at the front of the aircraft and complimentary meal service and premium liquor. I hopped in line for the prize draw, and while waiting, one of the Porter gate agents came over to offer me coffee or tea. To console myself after not winning the prize, there was a self-service station with the most delicious shortbread cookies that they also serve on board, and more coffee and tea to top up my drink, complete with stir sticks featuring Mr. Porter, the airline's raccoon mascot. The gate area is packed as it's expected to be a full flight today, with lots of media presence and Porter personnel on board as well, heading to Vancouver for the press event after arrival. There's a photo op set up as well, with Porter CEO Michael Deleuze taking part. Taking a look at our aircraft for today, I'll be on board this 1-month-old Embraer E195-E2 that was delivered new to Porter Airlines at the end of December 2022. Porter took delivery of their first 4 E2 jets on December 29th, with orders for up to 50 of the type. The E2 is the successor to Embraer's original E-Jet line, boasting better fuel efficiency and onboard comforts.
And a special thank you for flying with us today. Upon boarding, all passengers will receive a $100 gift voucher toward future travel. We hope everyone flying with Porter actually enjoys it.
Boarding got underway 5 minutes ahead of schedule at 9:40 a.m., starting with pre-boarding for families with young children and those who need extra time to get on board. Shortly after that, Porter Reserve and Premium VI Porter members were invited to board, followed by general boarding being called by row number, starting from the back of the aircraft. The boarding process was pretty slow, and we waited for about 10 minutes on the jetway. While we waited, Porter employees handed out envelopes to each passenger as a part of the inaugural celebrations, which we'll check out once I'm seated. Stepping on board the aircraft, Porter's E195-E2s are in a 2-2 seating layout with an all-economy configuration. There are 132 seats in total, with the first 4 rows designated as Porter Reserve with 36 inches of pitch, 5 rows designated as PorterStretch with 34 inches of pitch, and the remaining 24 rows designated as PorterClassic with 30 inches of pitch. One of the highlight points in Porter's advertising is no middle seats on any of their aircraft, whether that be their Q400 or the new E195-E2. The interior styling of the cabin is fairly simple, and the color palette, like their livery, is a little bland. The reserve seats at the front are covered in blue leather to stand out, but the rest of the seats are a gray leather surface. I'm booked in seat 6D for today's flight, which is a PorterStretch seat in row 6 on the right side of the aircraft. The seats are quite comfortable looking, with a leather back and base and an adjustable headrest at the top. Despite being fairly slimline, they're well padded for added comfort, which isn't something you see a lot in economy class on new aircraft. Hopping into the seat, the legroom is impressive and it feels very spacious. There's space under the seat in front for baggage storage, with no seat legs obstructing access. However, the storage space is not very deep due to the bar located underneath the seat, so cabin bags don't slide under very far. My briefcase fits well, but my large backpack sticks out a lot and would need to be stowed sideways. There's also plenty of space in the overhead bins, and despite the flight being full, all bags were able to fit without issue. Every seat on board this aircraft has a width of 18.3 inches, which is reasonable given that most airlines now have seat widths of 17 inches. There are thin armrests on both sides of the seat, with the armrest to my left being movable. Taking a look at the seat back in front, you'll notice that there are no entertainment screens at any seat on this aircraft. However, Porter offers streaming of on-demand content to your personal device. At the top of the seat, we have an instruction card for connecting to the free onboard Wi-Fi to access browsing and the selection of entertainment content. Further down the seat back, we have the tray table that flips out and is mounted on rails to slide outwards, and it also folds out to double the size, giving you tons of space. Below the tray table near the bottom of the seat back, we have a pocket for storing the provided reading materials and any other items you wish to place here. Looking at what's provided, we have the safety information card for the Embraer E195-E2, an air sickness bag, the Porter in-flight magazine, and the Porter Cafe menu for the in-flight service. Taking a closer look at the Porter magazine, here we have different articles about the airline and their partnerships, fleet details and onboard amenities, and a route map of Porter's current destinations. Taking a look at the Porter Cafe menu, they offer a limited selection of snacks free of charge, while more premium snacks are pay extra. And with the launch of their E195-E2s, they're also launching a line of onboard for-purchase fresh meals, with a different selection for morning or afternoon flights, as well as eastbound versus westbound flights. Porter is also known for serving complimentary beer and wine to all economy passengers. Every seat on board is also equipped with its own dedicated AC power outlet for charging your devices, but there are no USB outlets available. Taking a look at the overhead panel above the seat, here we have a personal air vent as well as a personal reading light and an attendant call button. Last item on the seat tour, we have coat hooks at each seat as well. While boarding finishes up, let's take a look inside the envelope that was handed out during boarding. We have a letter addressing passengers on the inaugural flight, along with a $150 voucher for future travel with Porter and a commemorative keychain printed with the route and inaugural date. A really nice touch and definitely adds to the excitement around today's flight.
Our inaugural flight from Toronto Pearson Airport to Vancouver. I'd like to extend a special welcome to you on our first day of service on board our state-of-the-art Embraer 195. Thank you for joining us on this milestone day. Weather in Vancouver, we can expect some light winds out in the southeast, light rain, and an overcast ceiling of 900 feet.
After an address from the cockpit, boarding is complete and we're ready to go, about 15 minutes behind schedule.
Sets are kindly asked to remove them for the duration of this demonstration. Au nom du commandant de bord et de l'équipage, bienvenue à bord de Porter. Nous vous demandons quelques... Il y a 2 portes à l'avant, 4 issues de secours au-dessus des...
quietly climbing away from Pearson Airport's runway 23 thanks to the super quiet Pratt & Whitney engines. Expected flight time to Vancouver today is exactly 5 hours. Talking a bit more about the Embraer E195-E2, another great feature of this aircraft is the huge windows. However, they are spaced quite far apart, which means they align strangely with certain seats, like mine. Taking a look at the seat recline, Porter claims up to 6 inches of recline for the seats on board, which is pretty decent. The headrest at the top of every seat has folding sides for extra support and is height adjustable as well. Shortly after takeoff, the cabin crew handed out a little card to each passenger, stating that as a part of the inaugural celebrations, every passenger on today's flight would be given the opportunity to sample the new menu items that they're launching free of charge. While we wait for that service to begin, let's get out my laptop. There's plenty of space to use a large laptop comfortably in these PorterStretch seats. Checking out the in-flight Wi-Fi offering, as mentioned earlier, Porter is offering free high-speed Wi-Fi on all of their E195-E2 flights. To connect, you join the Porter Wi-Fi network, and a pop-up window will prompt you to open your browser. In the browser, you can view some limited information like the flight time remaining, and from here you have the option of signing in or creating a VI Porter account and watching an ad, which will grant you Wi-Fi access for the full flight, or you can proceed without an account and watch an ad to receive Wi-Fi for a 30-minute period. After signing in with my VI Porter account, I'm free to browse for the rest of the flight. Speeds are decent for airplane Wi-Fi, with pages loading in reasonably good times. Running a quick speed test, the download speeds should allow you to stream video without issue, but the upload speeds are pretty abysmal. Checking out Porter's selection of complimentary on-demand content next, here we have a relatively small selection of movies and TV shows, though there are some big-name titles and new releases. Getting up to explore the cabin, the E195-E2 is a very long plane, with only 2 lavatories on board, one located at the front of the aircraft and another at the back. This unfortunately means that queues form around either lavatory, which is a definite con to sitting in the Porter reserve seats at the front of the plane. Stepping into the lavatory at the back of the aircraft, it's small but clean and well lit, with a motion-controlled faucet for a touchless experience. Heading back to my seat and taking in the cabin, the design is very simple, with no aggressive mood lighting or ceiling designs, and in a way that makes it feel a bit boring. An hour and a half into the flight now, and the crew are beginning the in-flight meal service. The items offered on this flight are from the breakfast section of the menu, with either the raspberry chia smoothie bowl or the croissant breakfast sandwich. Both are served cold and appear quite small. I opted for the smoothie bowl, which was served with blueberries, almonds, hemp, and sunflower seeds, and was tasty, though I'm not sure I could justify the typical $8 price tag given its size if I did have to pay for it. A full beverage service was also offered just after the meal, with complimentary beer and wine in real glassware, as well as juices, soft drinks, and water. Spending the majority of my time getting some work done, it's a very comfortable office in the sky, with a Wi-Fi, power outlets, and space to stretch out. With an hour and a half to go before landing, the crew came through with a basket of complimentary snacks, which included shortbread cookies, banana bread, fava beans, and salted almonds. I grabbed a banana bread and a shortbread cookie, both of which were very yummy, but the shortbread cookie was definitely my favorite. Another full beverage service was offered as well, and I opted for a white wine and a water. Cruising over the Rocky Mountains now, with just over an hour to go before landing, we're getting some fantastic views.
Starting our descent here momentarily from Vancouver. And weather in Vancouver, we got light winds out of the east. Good visibility, scattered clouds, and a temperature of 8 degrees. On behalf of the Porter team, it's been a pleasure having you on board. We hope you enjoyed your Porter service. We look forward to having you again soon. Thank you.
15 minutes behind schedule, Porter's inaugural Toronto to Vancouver flight has touched down at YVR Airport. Stepping off the aircraft, we were welcomed by a traditional song and cedar brushing on the jetway as we make our way up to the press event happening in the gate area before the return flight to Toronto. Speakers include Porter Airlines CEO Michael DeLuce and YVR Director of Air Service Development Russell Atkinson, among others.
To the entire Porter team for the launch day. As we can see here by the crowd at the gate, there's a lot of excitement for the new Porter service and the new connection to Toronto. Shortly, we will hear from YVR's Vice President of Airport and Capacity and System Design, Andy Margolis. But first, I'd like to welcome Michael DeLuce, Porter Airlines CEO, to share a few words.
Thanks very much, Russell, and as well, Councillor Shapiro, thank you for the warm welcome. And I also wanted to acknowledge Book Bellman and Arthur Slogan for the song and cedar brushing that they performed as we got off the aircraft, and as well to acknowledge that we are on the traditional and unceded territory of the Musqueam people. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us as we officially launch our inaugural flight with the Embraer E195-E2 from Vancouver Airport. Launching a new aircraft from a new airport requires a substantial amount of work, planning and logistics, and I want to sincerely thank the entire airport community for the amount of work that went into making this happen. We're extremely proud to be the first airline to bring the E195-E2 to North America. It is a game-changer aircraft. Since 2006, we've been redefining regional air travel and bringing back the joy in flying. With the expansion of our fleet, we are setting out on a mission to redefine air travel once again. This time, coast to coast, across Canada.
And with that, it's time for me to head out. Thanks for joining me for this trip, and I hope you enjoyed it. I was overall really impressed with Porter's product on their first long-haul flight with the Embraer E195-E2, with a plush, comfortable seat, free Wi-Fi, and premium snacks and drinks. Their mission to elevate the economy class experience and make it more enjoyable certainly shines through and makes them very competitive in the market against other airlines operating this route. For any traveler, more options is almost always a good thing when it comes to keeping prices low, and as Porter continues to expand their E2 jet fleet and follows through with their plans for launches to Calgary, Edmonton, and destinations along the US West Coast, I think they'll prove to be a great new option for travelers looking to fly these routes.